Also happening today, now in its third week, the Brett Hankison federal trial now coming to a close in downtown Louisville. The defense resting its case at about 2:30 this afternoon after hours of testimony from Hankison himself.
The former LMPD officer is charged with civil rights violations from the night Breonna Taylor died. Today he doubled down that he used his training when he fired blindly into Taylor's apartment. Alexis Jones reports from the courthouse.
Brett Hankison was back on the stand today for an intense cross-examination. Prosecutors questioned his actions on the day Breonna Taylor was killed, including how he identified and isolated his target. Prosecutor Michael Songer showed pictures outside of Breonna Taylor's apartment window and sliding door. He asked Hankison if he could see a person, a shadow, or even an outline of a person. Hankison replied, "I could not." Hankison says he knew the threat was walking up the hallway and saw muzzle flashes inside the door from where he was standing on the sidewalk. However, Songer says Hankison's shell casings weren't found next to the apartment building. Instead, they were found behind a gray truck in the parking lot. He also mentioned two fellow officers testified they did not see muzzle flashes. After several more questions about the gunfire, Hankison frustratedly said he now knows the shots were coming from officers, not Kenneth Walker. But at the time, he says he was under the impression his fellow officers were being executed. Songer then established there was a break in between Hankison's 10 shots and gunfire in the doorway. Songer went back to former Sergeant John Mattingly's testimony to hearing a short break and Taylor's neighbor Cody Etherton saying he heard a pause. However, Hankison says he stopped shooting once he saw the muzzle flashes ended, admitting he thought he took out the threat. Prosecutors argue Hankison could have hit officers in the process if they had stepped inside of the apartment, but he says he knew they wouldn't walk inside, adding he thought everyone was being executed in the breezeway. Since then, both sides have rest. Now attorneys are giving closing arguments to the jury. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS 11 on your side.